This is the IELTS listening test. You will hear a number of different recordings, and you will have to answer questions on what you hear. There will be time for you to read the instructions and questions, and you will have the chance to check your work. All the recordings will be played once only. The test is in 4 parts. Pause. At the end, you will be given 10 minutes to transfer your answers to an answer sheet. Now turn to Part 1. Part 1. In this part, you will hear a telephonic conversation, and based on that you will get 10 questions. First, you have some time to read questions 1 to 6. Now listen and answer questions 1 to 6.
Good afternoon, Maple Grove Music School. This is Chloe speaking. How may I help you?
Hello, my name's Sarah Bennett. I'm interested in after-school music classes for my daughter, and I'd like some information about what you offer.
Of course, Sarah. We offer a variety of music classes for children of all ages and skill levels. Can I ask how old your daughter is, and if she already plays any instruments?
Yes, she's 9 years old, and she's been learning piano for about a year, just with a private tutor. She's quite interested in singing as well.
That's wonderful. For children around her age, we have several options. We run beginner and intermediate piano classes, as well as a popular children's choir that meets every Friday after school. We also offer introduction courses to other instruments like violin, guitar, and drums.
She'd like to continue piano, but I think she would enjoy singing in a choir as well. Could she join both?
Absolutely. Many of our students do more than one activity. Our piano classes for 8 to 11-year-olds are held on Tuesdays at 4:15 p.m. and last 1 hour. The choir rehearsal is on Fridays, also at 4:15, but it runs for 75 minutes.
That would work for us. How many children are there in each group?
For piano, we keep the class size small, no more than 6 students per group, so everyone gets individual attention. The choir is larger, usually between 18 and 24 children, since it's more about group participation.
Does my daughter need to bring her own keyboard for piano class?
No, all our music rooms are fully equipped with digital pianos, so students only need to bring their music books. For the choir, we provide all song sheets and practice recordings.
That's good to know. And where is the music school located?
We're on the corner of Maple Avenue and Orchard Road, right next to the community library. If you come by bus, Route 16 stops directly outside.
Perfect. That's close to us. What about fees?
Piano classes are £10 per session, and the choir is $7.50 per session. Fees are paid monthly, in advance. If your child attends more than 1 class per week, you receive a 10% discount on the total monthly bill.
Before you hear the rest of the conversation, you have some time to read questions 7 to 10. Now listen and answer questions 7 to 10.
Are there any extra costs or materials we'd need to purchase?
For piano, you'll need to buy the recommended book for her level. It's called Step by Step Piano Grade 1 and costs around £8 at most bookstores. We also suggest children have a notebook for practice notes, but otherwise everything is provided.
Is there a performance at the end of the term?
Yes. We organize an end-of-term concert every December and June. All our students have the opportunity to perform, either solo or in groups, and families are invited to attend. It's a great confidence builder.
That sounds lovely. How do I register her for the classes?
You can register over the phone now or fill out our form on the website. Once registered, we'll email you all class details, term dates, and payment instructions. You'll also receive an emergency contact form to complete.
And if we need to miss a class, is there a makeup policy?
Yes, if you notify us at least 24 hours in advance, we offer a makeup session later in the month. Or you can join another group of the same level if there's space.
What if we decide to stop during the term?
We ask for 2 weeks' notice before the next payment cycle. If you've paid for sessions you don't use, we refund the balance or credit it to your account for future lessons.
That's very fair. Thank you so much, Chloe, for answering all my questions.
You're welcome, Sarah. If you'd like to go ahead with registration, just let me know your email address and your daughter's name, and I'll get things started.
Yes, please. Her name is Emma Bennett, and my email is sarahbennett83@mail.com.
Perfect. I'll send you all the details this afternoon. We look forward to having Emma with us at Maple Grove Music School.
Thanks again. Have a great day.
You too. Goodbye.
That is the end of part 1. You now have half a minute to check your answers. Part 2. In this part, you will hear a monologue. A person is giving an orientation to a group of people. First, you have some time to read questions 11 to 15. Listen carefully and answer questions 11 to 15.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us today at the Pine Grove Environmental Awareness Fair. My name is Miles Carter, and I'm one of the coordinators of this annual event, which brings together environmental advocates, local businesses, and community groups to promote sustainable living. Let me begin by telling you a little about the fair itself. It was first held in 2009, started by just a handful of volunteers and eco-enthusiasts who wanted to highlight environmental challenges in the region. Since then, it's grown significantly, and now attracts more than 6,000 visitors over the weekend. The fair is spread across several areas here in Pine Grove Park. The main pavilion is the central hub where you'll find information booths from various nonprofit organizations, environmental startups, and campaign groups. Next, we have the workshop tent, located just behind the community garden, where hands-on sessions and talks will take place. Finally, there's the green market zone, where local vendors sell eco-friendly goods and plant-based food options. We strongly encourage attendees to participate in our Zero Waste initiative. Please bring your own reusable cups and containers if you can. However, if you don't have one, don't worry. Our stall near the entrance rents out eco-kits, which include a bamboo cup, reusable plate, and cloth napkin. These can be returned at the end of the day. One of the most popular events this year is the DIY composting workshop, led by a local gardener named Nina Fields. It starts at 3:30 p.m. in the workshop tent and lasts about an hour. This one tends to fill up quickly, so do register at the volunteer desk located just opposite the main pavilion. We're also running a nature scavenger hunt for children aged 6 to 12. It's designed to be both fun and educational, and each participant will receive a small eco-prize. Parents, please register your children in advance using the form available at the information booth, next to the first aid station. Throughout the day, we'll have acoustic music performances, poetry readings, and a film screening in the evening, all held in the outdoor amphitheater. Seating is limited, so please arrive early to secure a spot. That wraps up our overview of logistics and key events. After the break, I'll share with you some behind-the-scenes reflections from our core team and guest speakers about what this event means to them.
Before you hear the rest of the conversation, you have some time to read questions 16 to 20. Now, listen and answer questions 16 to 20.
As promised, I'd like to introduce you to some of the voices behind this event and share what they've said about their experience with the fair. Gareth, one of our founding members, told me that he's thrilled to see how far the event has come. In its first year, they barely managed to cover costs, and now it has sponsors and national attention. He sees it as a real success story in community action. Rena, a local high school teacher whose students are running one of the booths this year, mentioned how powerful it is for young people to take part. She believes this kind of involvement gives them purpose and helps them apply what they learn in the classroom. Leo, a food vendor who joined the fair 2 years ago, shared his concern that while the event is growing, some visitors are still unaware of the importance of food sustainability. He suggested offering more info about carbon footprints related to diet choices. Jasmine, who hosted a panel on eco-design this morning, said she loves how the event balances education and fun. For her, the most rewarding thing is seeing families engage with exhibits together and talk about real-world environmental solutions. And lastly, Tom, one of our new volunteers, told me that helping with logistics gave him a much deeper understanding of what it takes to pull off a community event. He said he never realized how many moving parts are involved. So, as you can see, this event means a lot of different things to different people, and we hope it will be meaningful for you too. Thanks again for being here, and enjoy the rest of the Pine Grove Environmental Awareness Fair.
That is the end of part 2. You have half a minute to check your answers. Part 3. Part 3 is an academic discussion between a student and a professor, or between two students. You need to listen to their conversation and answer questions based on that. First, you now have some time to read questions 21 to 25. Now, listen and answer questions 21 to 25.
Good morning, Nathan. Come in. I read through the draft for your attention span study, and I think you're off to a solid start. Let's talk through it.
Morning, Dr. Kim. Thanks for taking a look. I'm feeling a little unsure about how I've structured the methodology section.
That's normal at this stage. First, let's recap what you're trying to find out. Your study looks at how multitasking affects attention spans in students, right?
Right. I wanted to measure how students perform on memory tasks while being distracted by notifications, like text messages or social media alerts, compared to when they have no distractions.
A very relevant topic. How did you design the experiment?
I divided participants into 2 groups. Group A completed a 10-minute memory task with phones on silent. Group B did the same task but received intermittent notifications via a messaging app. The app sent alerts every 2 minutes.
That's clever. So, you created an artificial interruption environment.
Exactly. I was surprised by the difference in performance. Group B scored about 25% lower on average than Group A.
That's quite significant. Did you also monitor how long it took them to return focus after a notification?
Yes, using screen recording software. On average, it took around 8 to 10 seconds for students to refocus after each alert. Some participants never fully returned to the task at all.
Fascinating. You should include that data in a graph. It'll support your hypothesis well. Now, your participant pool. Who did you recruit?
32nd-year psychology undergrads. I tried to balance the group with a mix of high and low smartphone usage.
Did you collect baseline data on their daily screen time?
Yes. I used a short survey to gather self-reported screen use and multitasking habits. The results showed a strong correlation between high screen time and poor task performance under distraction.
That's excellent. Be sure to discuss causality carefully, though. Correlation doesn't mean one causes the other.
Absolutely. I've written a short section about that in the discussion. I also plan to acknowledge the limitations, like the small sample size and self-reporting bias.
Good. You might also add something about the lab setting not fully replicating real-world distractions.
That's a fair point. I'll note that the messaging app used controlled alerts, whereas real-life alerts can vary unpredictably.
Right. And did you consider using heart rate monitors or any physiological indicators?
I thought about that, but I didn't have the equipment. I'm relying entirely on behavioral data for now.
That's fine. Just mention it as a possible extension in future studies. Now, for your results section, how are you planning to present your findings?
I've included bar charts comparing memory recall between the groups and a line graph showing attention recovery time after each alert.
Excellent. Keep the visuals clean. Don't overload with too many data points.
Will do. I'm also including a short literature review, but I'm struggling to find recent studies from the last 2 years.
That's understandable. The pandemic shifted focus toward online learning rather than multitasking. Still, try looking at work on digital attention fatigue. That's related.
Great. I'll check databases again tonight. I've also added a short conclusion suggesting ways teachers might limit distractions during study sessions.
That's a nice practical application. Teachers and students alike can benefit from that. Don't forget to cite your sources properly.
I'm using APA 7th edition. I'll double-check formatting before submitting.
Before you hear the rest of the conversation, you have some time to read questions 26 to 30. Now listen and answer questions 26 to 30.
Now let's go over your presentation. When are you scheduled to present?
I'm on the second day, Wednesday morning at 10:30. Presentations have to be under 8 minutes, right?
Yes, 8 minutes max, plus 2 minutes for questions. Keep it focused. Highlight the design, 1 or 2 key findings, and your interpretation.
I was thinking of opening with a question to the audience, like, how many notifications have you received in the past hour? Just to grab attention.
That's a great idea. Engage them right away. And what visuals will you include?
I've created a slide deck with 4 slides, 1 for the setup, 1 for the results, 1 for a key chart, and 1 with implications and references.
That's a good number. Are you planning to use any video clips?
No video, but I do have 1 animated graph to show the drop in attention over time.
That'll work well. Just test it in advance to make sure the animation loads properly.
Will do. Also, when do I need to submit the slides?
All presentation files must be uploaded to the portal by Tuesday at 5 p.m. That gives the tech team time to check formatting.
Got it. I'll finish mine by Monday to be safe. Thanks for all your help.
You're welcome, Nathan. I think your project will generate great discussion.
That is the end of part 3. Now you have 30 seconds to check your answers. Part 4. This part is a monologue where a person gives a seminar on a topic. You need to listen and answer all the questions at once. First, you have some time to read questions 31 to 40. Now, listen and answer questions 31 to 40.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's session. We're going to dive into a fascinating area of neuroscience and human biology, the science of sleep and our circadian rhythms. Sleep is something we all experience, yet we're only beginning to fully understand how it works and why it's so essential. Let's start by defining circadian rhythms. These are natural internal processes that regulate the sleep-wake cycle and repeat roughly every 24 hours. They are driven by a small region of the brain known as the suprachiasmatic nucleus, or SCN, which is located in the hypothalamus. This structure acts like a master clock, coordinating the body's many internal clocks found in different tissues and organs. One of the most important signals influencing our circadian rhythm is light, especially natural sunlight. When light hits the retina in our eyes, it sends signals to the SCN, which helps regulate hormones like melatonin. Melatonin is known as the sleep hormone because it promotes sleepiness. Levels of melatonin typically rise in the evening as it gets dark and fall in the morning when light returns. Now, humans are diurnal, meaning we're biologically programmed to be awake during the day and asleep at night. However, modern lifestyles often disrupt this natural rhythm. Exposure to artificial light from screens and overhead bulbs, especially in the evening, can delay melatonin production, making it harder to fall asleep. This is particularly common in teenagers and young adults, whose internal clocks tend to run slightly longer than 24 hours, pushing their natural sleep time later. Moving on to sleep architecture, sleep is not a single, uniform state, but consists of several distinct stages. These include non-rapid eye movement, or NREM stages, and rapid eye movement, REM sleep. NREM sleep is divided into 3 stages. Stage 1 is light sleep, Stage 2 is slightly deeper, and Stage 3 is known as slow wave or deep sleep. REM sleep, on the other hand, is when most dreaming occurs. These stages cycle throughout the night, roughly every 90 minutes, with REM periods becoming longer toward the morning. Each stage of sleep serves different functions. Slow-wave sleep is critical for physical restoration, such as tissue repair and immune function. REM sleep, meanwhile, is essential for cognitive processes like memory consolidation, learning, and emotional regulation. Sleep requirements change with age. Newborns may need up to 17 hours of sleep per day, while adults typically require between 7 to 9 hours. However, it's not just about the quantity of sleep, but also the quality. Fragmented or shallow sleep can impair mood, concentration, and immune response, even if total sleep time appears adequate. Chronic sleep deprivation has been linked to a wide range of health issues, including obesity, diabetes, cardiovascular disease, and even Alzheimer's. This is because sleep is closely connected to metabolic and hormonal processes. For instance, lack of sleep can increase levels of ghrelin, the hormone that stimulates appetite, and decrease leptin, which signals fullness. Now, let's briefly touch on chronotypes. These refer to a person's natural inclination toward being more alert either in the morning or in the evening. People often refer to these as morning larks and night owls. Chronotype is influenced by both genetics and age. Adolescents are more likely to be night owls, while older adults shift toward morningness. Managing your sleep-wake cycle effectively often comes down to good sleep hygiene. This includes keeping a regular sleep schedule, limiting caffeine and alcohol intake in the evening, and creating a dark, quiet, and cool sleeping environment. Avoiding screens at least an hour before bed can also help, since blue light inhibits melatonin production. In recent years, sleep technology has become increasingly popular. Wearable devices and smartphone apps now claim to track sleep stages and provide recommendations. While some of these tools offer valuable insights, they're not always accurate and can sometimes cause sleep anxiety, where people become overly preoccupied with achieving perfect sleep. Finally, in some professions, such as healthcare, aviation, and emergency services, people often work night shifts or rotating shifts. These schedules can severely disrupt circadian rhythms and increase the risk of accidents, errors, and long-term health problems. Strategies like using blue-blocking glasses, adjusting light exposure, and planned naps are being tested to mitigate these effects.
That is the end of part 4. You have now 30 seconds to check your answers. You have now 10 minutes to transfer your answers to an answer sheet.